and welcome to Paper Movies. I know that's a little early, guys, but the Roadcaster started ahead of when we hit live on the video. So it still caught my voice. So it gives you an excuse to download us on Apple Music, Spotify, and Google Play Music. I'm your host today, Jeremy at Stupid Chainsaw Productions, and with me I have Matthew, the Geeks Addict, and Adam. I don't know. Do you want to give your announcement about your channel?
I'm going to post a video about that soon. So
okay, we'll just tease.
There'll be changes. Yeah, there'll be changes to my channel coming soon that I'll be posting in a video. So.
I don't know why I just keep waving and nodding my head like that's going to be very beneficial for the podcast.
It's all right. We have other people talking. Hello. Today we're talking about my pick, which is Halloween 2018 by, what is it, John
Passarella.
Thank you, because I don't have a copy. I listened to the very decent audiobook.
I did too.
Okay. Not going to lie, I didn't read the book. I listened to it as well. But I do have a copy.
This is the first. We all joined that Audible crowd.
Yep. I started late, so I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish reading this, so I'm going to have to listen to it.
I started a day before I went on vacation, and I was determined to finish it that day before I went on vacation. So I literally listened to it I finished it within 24 hours.
Well, I have a feeling Jeremy froze.
Uh-oh.
Did he freeze? Did the host of today's episode freeze?
Yeah, because he's kind of staring me down there.
That's fantastic. Let's remove and then add him back to the stream. And he's gone. Wow, guys, this is a first for the Paper Movies.
I'm not the one that gets killed this time, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not cool. Let's just wait a second, guys. I'm sure that ruined the whole podcast bit for Jeremy. But we're going to wait a second and have him come back in any second now. And then we'll get to our thoughts. But hey, while we have this opportunity, stick around through this entire stream, because this stream we are going to let the rest of the club ask questions, give their thoughts. We want to hear your feedback for Halloween 2018. So we have Jeremy back.
This is going to be a bit on my end. I think I'm just going to have to snag your video and download the audio that way. Sorry about that.
Something. That's fine. I just let everybody know that after our discussion, we're going to turn it over to the club members and have go over their thoughts and their questions and have a nice little chat with them about Halloween 2018.
Fantastic. So I'm now here to
No, I think he froze again.
And he's gone once again. Wow. Uh-oh. Let's just take a second here. And Jeremy, are you with it?
I'm going to lose. I can't even say what I'm going to lose on here, or else we'll get an explicit tag. But I'm very angry right now. Very angry. Okay. Let me try to do a synopsis one last time. So it's been 40 years since the babysitter murders happened via Michael Myers in 1978, escaping from the insane asylum and hunting down Laurie Strode's friends. Some podcaster has-beens are trying to do this big true crime episode, and they go and visit Michael, and they hold up his mask and scream at him, and nothing happens except for everyone freaks out. We meet Michael's current doctor, Dr. Sartain, because Michael is getting transferred to an even more maximum security, insane penitentiary thing. Not being held at Smith's Grove anymore. Meanwhile, Laurie Strode is kind of become a recluse. He's sort of what's a good word for it?
Like a hermit.
Hermit, NRA dream. Being a crazy person. We also meet her daughter, Karen, and her husband and her daughter, Allison, who's our new protagonist for this film, kind of, sort of. And she's on honor roll. She has friends that I don't understand why they're her friends.
Yeah, I don't know.
And a boyfriend who's like the bad boy in school. And his friend who's the comic relief that's not always funny.
Yeah, obnoxious.
And, of course, Michael Myers escapes again and starts hunting people.
But what do you expect when you're going to be, let's transfer him to the more maximum security with the least secure way of transportation?
Yeah, I know. It's just like, well, let's just transfer a dangerous serial killer who can't seem to die out of here.
Right. Might as well as like, hey, guys, everybody grab a hold of this rope. We're going to walk. Okay? It's basically what it's like. So,
man.
What did you guys think of the book? Did you enjoy it?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought it was good. I'm going to say I was able to keep my attention with it. I didn't find it boring at all. I kind of felt like, I'm trying to think of the way of phrasing this. I found it more engaging than the actual movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
I would disagree with you.
Disagree?
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
But Matthew.
So I thought the book was enjoyable. I thought it was a quick, like I said, I did the audiobook, but it was like a quick listen. So if I did read the book, I'm sure it would have been a quick read. Yeah, there was a lot of tacky stuff in it. Of course, it's a horror. All horror movies have cheesy things in them, and when you put them in a book, it's still cheesy. Which we'll get into some of that stuff, like the climax. There were some things in there that I had some real issues with. That I was like, wait a second. This is the lady that's been training for years for something that's going to happen, and she completely blows it. Doesn't follow through with her training at all. It's just some of the stuff was just dumb. But the other stuff with the podcasters, like you said, like show up to, we're going to do some little in-depth mind searching of Michael Myers. So they wave his mask in his face, thinking that that's going to be a good idea. I mean, you don't think that that's going to just like bring up some crazy memories, some PTSD maybe, that pull that trigger in his mind to,
it literally freaks everyone out around them.
Yeah, was a kind of I kind of chuckled at that too, because it was like,
you're reading it, you're not seeing it. It's a better scene visually.
Okay, because when I'm reading it, I'm visualizing like caged monkeys, like, this one got a banana, and all the other ones start freaking out around him, like pulling on their cages and stuff. I'm like, over a mask, like, how do any of these crazy people know what this mask means?
Now, I was going to say, though, going back to what I said, the last part of the film, of the book, like where the showdown, I know that we're going to get to that later. I was just wanting to point out that part I actually enjoyed in the movie better than the book. So
yes, I'll second that. So I'll jump in. So I really wanted to see this movie when it came out, because I've never seen a Halloween movie on the big screen. Unfortunately, my house burned down when this movie came out, and I didn't get to see it, but I had the audiobook. So this is what I listened to while I was homeless. So it was a nice escapism. So I've read this twice now. I enjoy this book, but it has some big flaws.
Yeah.
The first one being that there's a lot of references in Halloween 2018 that pay homage to the whole series, even though it reboots it as like Halloween 2.
Yeah, like I remember, like early in both the book and the film, they were asking, like, aren't Michael Myers and Laurie Strode siblings? And they're like, no, that's just a stupid rumor or something like that.
Yeah, that's the real dumb one for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
There are other ones they reference one in the book, and it's I chuckled. There's Laurie Strode tells these 3 trick-or-treaters to run away. One's wearing a witch mask, one's wearing a pumpkin mask, and another one's wearing a skull mask. Those are the masks from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. The one that turned the kids.
Yeah, I picked that up. There was reference when that was mentioned. I was like, I know what they're doing there.
The guy who, when my favorite kill happens with the wrought iron fence, Oscar is like talking to what he thinks is I can't remember the neighbor's name, but that's of the guy, the last name of the couple that Michael steals the knife from in Halloween 2. And there's little nods like that throughout.
Yeah, there's also one that I think was in, I remember hearing that was in one of the earlier novelizations. Of course, those are really hard to find, but it's the line that, Michael Myers does know how to speak. He just chooses not to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's brought up in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, it is?
In Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Michael Myers screams, "Die!" and stabs Loomis, and it's supposed to be like scary, but it turns out to be really funny.
Yeah, wow.
Also, that's the movie where where Michael Myers looks remarkably like a gigantic Rob Zombie.
Interesting.
Now, there's also. Oh wait, I don't know if I should say this part because Matthew hasn't seen it, so because you can only see it in the film.
I don't care.
Oh well, okay. You remember at the end of the first Halloween where Laurie Strode looks out the window to see Michael's corpse that fell out the window, but he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
They do that in the film, except reverse.
Yeah, there's a lot of reversing where Laurie Strode is.
Little Easter eggs, callbacks, and stuff.
Yeah, but it's done smarter than it was in Halloween H2O.
Okay.
But this is the paper movies. We got to talk about the book and the the embarrassing dialogue of the kids.
Oh man, yeah.
Bad. It's the one big glaring flaw in this book. Even though this book's pretty good with its atmosphere, it's so 2018. It hurts.
Yeah.
This movie and this is the problem with the movie too. These go hand in hand. It wants to be timeless, but its dialogue is so of the late 2010s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also the technology part of it too always dates a movie for me. Like, he's talking about the nacho cheese spilled into the microphone of her cell phone. You're like, okay, so
it'll be dated in 5 years.
Yeah. I don't know what phone they used in the movie. I don't care, but it's just you got to somehow get away from that stuff to make a movie or a story continue on for many generations to enjoy, in my opinion. But, mostly.
Let's name some good here, because we're starting to bag on this book, and this book doesn't necessarily deserve to be completely bagged on.
Okay, well, a good thing that they did really pushed a lot on was making sure that everybody understood that Michael was a shape. He was more than just a man. He was a shadow, a figure that just won't quit. Nothing can stop this guy.
Yeah, I have a note about that, and I was saying that I loved how they always refer to him as the shape because they've often mentioned it, as Jeremy was saying, they make references to the film series, where Michael Myers is the embodiment of evil. And by calling him the shape, I just I wrote down that removes all the humanity from him, and it completely labels him as an evil force of nature.
And to piggyback off of that, in midway through the book, Michael Myers is just going around killing random people, and that to me is truly terrifying. It's the first time since the original where you have that dread, because the problem with the sequels, and I understand why they got rid of him, is that he's Laurie Strode's brother.
Right.
And it's hampered by that. And
the connection just has to be with those.
John Carpenter didn't know what to do with a Halloween 2, and he had to write a script for it. And what we got is a convoluted brother-sister plot that's a ripoff of Friday the 13th, which Friday the 13th is a ripoff of Halloween. The irony there. But I will say there are a few things in this book that I think are better than the movie. Number one, when the dad and the kid in the pickup truck that find all the mental patients wandering around, their dialogue in the book feels like father-son talk when father and son don't quite understand one another, but they're trying. Whereas in the movie, it's contrived 2010s BS.
Yeah.
Really. That's good. Good that they changed it in the book.
Yeah,
that probably goes to show that, like, on set, they were probably like,
it was probably from the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also going to say that they made Cameron, which is Allison. Yeah, Allison's Laurie Strode's granddaughter. They made him more of a bad boy type in the book than they did in the film. Like,
he's more fleshed out in the book, and they give him a backstory, and like there's like abuse and stuff. You don't get that in the movie. He's just a one-dimensional jerk.
Yeah, and there's like this whole scene where he gets into this big confrontation with the police and everything, and running his mouth off at him, and like you don't see that at all in the film.
No, which is a shame. It's a good scene for Cameron.
I was pretty bored through the whole kid stuff. Honestly,
yeah. Except for I do enjoy Julian, the little kid that's being babysat. Really hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Although
boogeyman.
Most of his dialogue in the movie is different because it's ad-libbed by the child, and it's even funnier. It's not how a child speaks, which makes it just wonderful.
Yeah, the kid was so calm, really, in the book. He was like, "There's a boogeyman in my closet."
I swear he drops an F-bomb in the movie.
Really?
I was also going to say they actually included a scene in the book that was supposed to be a deleted scene in the film, and that was like the two podcasters, like they're actually like in a relationship. And
that's right. That's not in
they try to pull off this like psycho-ish type scene where the guy like peeks in on the girl in the shower and he's wearing Michael Myers' mask, and
yeah.
And to me, that kind of strikes as a sort of nod to Rob Zombie's Halloween, because Michael's sister and her boyfriend's the one with the Captain Kirk, like Mike Myers mask. Mike Myers, the love guru. It's a mask of him, obviously. He has the Michael Myers mask on, and he wants to have sex with her. That's like a scene in Rob Zombie's movie, and everyone's talking in the Rob Zombie offensive dialogue. But I guess that's like a nod to that too, which is embarrassing.
Who was
their whole thing is they're just the worst characters. They're some of the worst characters, but their deaths are so wonderful.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. What was your favorite death scene?
Oh, I can tell you right now, the wrought iron fence.
It goes up through the jaw, doesn't it?
Stuck there. That's one of my favorite deaths in the whole Halloween series. Is so grotesque.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to say mine was that new doctor who Laurie Strode called the new Loomis, because I don't know, that part was just a little weird to me. Like,
that's like in the movie too, and it's
I don't know. It's just kind of like. It just kind of seemed like that was a little out of nowhere. That it's just like he wanted to help Michael his whole life, and now he's just like, oh, I have to see him at his strongest. Like,
that was a weird little plot twist thing that I didn't understand.
It's a stupid plot twist. It is just so Jamie Lee Curtis can fight Michael Myers.
Yeah, didn't that doctor, he killed a guy, right?
Yeah, he killed the deputy.
Right. Yeah, it was like, wait, what? Why did you do that?
And then he put Michael Myers' mask on. It looks like a weirdo.
A weird thing that he's always wanted to I got to feel what it's like to be this. It's a weird thing. I didn't like that little twist.
It reminded me so much of some of the late Universal Studios 40s movies, where there's this mad scientist that swears he's going to, depower the Frankenstein monster, but instead he gets obsessed with wanting to see it at its full power and then just revives it.
Mm.
And it's just, I will say though that I like the dialogue between the new Loomis and the deputy, because the new, I can't remember the doctor's name. What was his name again? It escapes me.
Sartain.
That's it. Yeah, Sartain was just like, he was actually like threatening to sue the deputy or something. Just like, if you hurt Michael Myers, I will hold you to the fullest extent of the law. And I'm just like, so it's like, dude, Michael Myers is a freaking serial killer. He will kill you in an instant, and you're.
He says that stuff, and then he just winds up killing a cop. So.
Yeah, that part was just kind of little out of nowhere for me, and I was just kind of glad that Michael Myers just literally, stomped on it. Pun intended.
Yeah, I can't remember the names of the podcasters, to be honest with you.
I can look on the IMDb right now,
but I think that
I don't care.
Their deaths were my favorite.
They were enjoyable.
Do what?
Those were enjoyable.
They were just like,
because they're just
to me, it was creepy.
People.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the dude gets he's used as a battering ram
into the bathroom stalls.
Yeah, and then he just like chunks his body into a trash can. Like, wow, ouch.
The woman's like literally strangled to the point where I think her neck breaks because of how hard she's strangled.
Yeah, lifts her up. Didn't he say like he lifted her up, and the guy saw her like being strangled above the stalls?
Mm-hmm.
Creepy, gross.
Not bad from an elderly man.
Yeah, I know. Well, the elderly shape, not a man.
Yeah, it's not. How did you feel about the end?
Can I say the thing that bothered me the most about the entire book?
Yes.
It's at the end. She's, got all these mannequins for some stupid reason around her house, just for, I guess.
They were cheap.
Do what?
To shoot. I don't know how they're cheaper to shoot than paper targets, but that's
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, you're afraid this guy, well, you're not afraid anymore. You're just kind of prepared for it, for this guy to come over and you're ready to shoot him. But you have dummies all over the place. So if he does come over, you're kind of going to get confused at who's who and what's going on around your house, which I think does happen when she's like goes up to her bedroom, I think. But the thing is, when she's down in the basement or the bunker under her kitchen, Michael's walking across the floor. Okay, so what does she do with her gun? She just starts shooting up at the ceiling to shoot him through the floor. When she had a perfect opportunity earlier, whenever she was up by her front door and his arms burst through the window and grab her, like instead of just like getting free like she did and then turning around, and what did she have? Was it a 357? Was that her revolver that she was?
Yeah, but I think she shoots his fingers off the 12 gauge.
Yeah, well, I thought she did that, like, put it up, like, it shoots, like, by her head or something. I can't remember exactly how it was
described. Didn't strangle through the door because she, like, tried to cover behind it when it has a window on the front of it.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, when she did get free, why didn't she just finish the job? Just go up to the door, just put that shotgun or revolver, whatever she was using at the time, and just blast the dude.
Because we wouldn't have the grandmother, mother, and daughter bonding about trying to kill a man.
I know. They could have changed that somehow, but just the whole thing of like, oh, she's trained. She's like she's got the armory down there. She knows what she's doing, but she's just shooting up at the freaking ceiling. Come on.
What makes that worse is that's just basically like, hey, Michael, bang, bang, we're down here.
Yeah,
bang,
we're down
bang,
here.
Bang.
I know.
Look, I just made you a peephole.
The whole climax
Put some gasoline down here
doesn't really work. There's some creepy scenes in it with the mannequins where they're all brought into a room, which I don't know how Michael had time to do that when he was like bleeding out from his left hand.
That brings up another point real quick, is we have Michael who is messing with the dummies, arranging things, but also in the first movie, the original movie, did he like decorate bodies and do weird things that you're like, why did he do that?
Because he's a psychopath.
But did he do that though in the first
Yeah, he
original movie?
does that in the original movie.
Okay, 'cause I don't remember. It's been a long time. I
Because
said I was going to
that's
watch that movie.
That's the trope that was brought into all the slasher movies, where
Okay,
the final girl just finds all their dead friends.
okay, because I remember saying that I was going to watch the original before I read this. Didn't get around to it, but when he does kill the babysitter and the boyfriend,
Yeah,
doesn't he like dresses her up like a ghost or something?
yeah, and he throws a jack o' lantern in the fish tank, and then he hangs up the other her boyfriend, the stoner, who's Dave. Dave, that's his name, who knocks over the Harley.
Yeah.
I can't pick it back up because he's like too stoned, and it's a Harley, and those are very hard to pick up.
About 800 pounds, I think.
Yeah, it was a big bike. He gets hung up, which this is something they don't have in the movie. He has the Halloween date tattooed on him because he's trying to get with Vicky. And, that goes really well for them.
That was so stupid.
So
stupid characters, mainly
Did it-
Dave's stupid. Vicky's
Caused confusion for the cops, right? It's like, oh, the date. It's the date.
So I think I just kind of I just noticed something like in both the book and in the film, like Laurie carries a revolver.
Mhm.
And I was kind of wondering if that was supposed to be like a Easter egg or nod to Loomis because he carried a revolver with him, and that's what he used that to shoot Michael Myers.
So she has a dumb line, I know, in the movie where she says revolvers never jam, which is not
right.
This is not true, people.
No.
You can get the timing off in a revolver and it will misfire. Any gun that you don't clean will jam.
Yep.
But I was just curious because I remember Laurie in the original film saw Loomis, take Michael Myers out the window with a revolver, and I was kind of wondering if that's why she always relied on it more. So that could just be me, like making a really broad connection there, but
could be. Sure, they probably watched the original many, many, many times as they were writing this one. Like, what if instead of the guy falling out of the window, she falls out of a window?
Probably watched the original movie, like, okay.
Because everyone goes to John Carpenter to ask for his permission to make Halloween. Well, in the case of this one, he did the score. He and his sons did the score.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh God, the score for Halloween 2018 is incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
So awesome, synth.
I will have to look it up then.
I was going to ask.
We're going to have to watch this movie together.
I was going to ask, what was you guys' least favorite part of the book?
The clunky, it's the same thing with my least favorite part of the movie. The clunky Dr. Sartain killing the police officer and driving Michael Myers to Laurie Strode's house for the climax. And they had to do that. Well, there's one thing that kind of redeems it is that Michael doesn't even care that it's Laurie Strode. There's no recollection.
Right.
That doesn't matter to him, which is the interesting part of this this one compared to all the other Halloween sequels. So otherwise it's dumb. It's so contrived. It doesn't make sense.
I agree. It was just out of nowhere.
I think that is a pretty good point. That was the thing that confused me the most. It was like, why is this guy doing this now? Was there some connection to? Was this guy in the first movie that I didn't remember? But no, it's just some stupid doctor who wants to get his jollies and see what it feels like.
They can't have Donald Pleasance back. He died 25 years ago now.
Yeah. Well, and it's a toss-up between that doctor stuff and the trained lady who, Laurie Strode, who's trained for this her entire life since it happened. And she just completely forgets her training, doesn't know what to do. I want to go down to the basement and start shooting up at the ceiling. That drove me crazy. It drove me crazy.
And the fact,
of course,
stabbed in the gut and is still alive at the end.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm in pain." But then again, I know that when situations go crazy, people are gonna be flustered and not do exactly what they say they're going to do.
Mhm. It's
So-
also a horror. It's a slasher movie. Well, it's a novel of a slasher movie.
Right.
I was gonna say, what the novel did do that I actually appreciated that the movie did not do is that at the end, when they escape the house, the burning house, and they leave Michael there, and they hitchhike with this guy, they actually talk about how they mourn. They like remembered, oh yeah, my husband Ray just
we didn't
died,
talk
and they
about
actually
Ray.
mourn them. And in the film, they're just like, oh wait, crap, Ray died. They're like,
Yeah,
well, we
Ray
got away.
got strangled with a wind chime and got shoved into the top shelf of a closet.
Yeah, I forgot about Ray.
Weird.
So did everybody. Apparently, so did everybody else.
Remember, he was making the mouse traps with peanut butter.
Oh, yeah, that was so stupid. There was that scene in when he gets over to Laurie's house and he's like, "What's that thing?" I was like, "Here comes the mousetrap gag again." And it was, she's like, "What do you use, Ray?" I like the conflict between the mother-in-law and the son-in-law. I thought that was pretty funny.
If you really look at it, because the first time reading this through, I'm like, why is Allison's mom married to an idiot? And it makes sense that she would rebel and marry the stupidest person in Haddonfield.
Yeah.
Thankfully, their daughter isn't that stupid. She just has husband and boys.
When she showed up to the house, when the daughter Allison showed up to the house, did she even ask where her dad was? I don't recall.
I don't think so.
No.
It was like, "Oh, look, it's me, Mom, and Grandma."
Mom, I'm like trying to. I don't think it even occurred to her because she was trapped in the back of a squad car with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But yeah, final thoughts.
I would like to see the movie. I would recommend people read this book if they want to read a horror novel. I think it was decent. I would like to read the original Halloween novel, but until somebody sends it to me or gives me a buttload of cash to spend on a copy.
A PDF copy, yeah.
Yeah, a PDF copy at that. But I enjoyed the book. I thought it was fun. Yeah, like I say, every time I read or watch a horror movie, there's definitely going to be some cheese. And yeah, that's my thoughts.
I agree. It's very enjoyable to read. The first half is anyway, but when it comes to like the actual showdown, I recommend the film portion of that. And other than that, it's good to read, but like I still did like have that issue with like Sartain just like completely going 180 and being like, ooh, I want to get inside the mind of a serial killer. It's gonna, it's just and I did enjoy seeing all the alternate scenes or deleted scenes that were included that weren't in the film, with like Cameron confrontation with the police and the reporters or the podcasters. I recommend it.
I recommend it. There's dialogue that's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it for the better, some of it for the worse. It's a fast read, and you'll get through it pretty quickly, even though it's pretty long for a movie novelization.
Yeah, it's like 40 chapters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the page count. It's over 350 pages.
Oh wow!
This is the portion of the stream / podcast where we give our grades on it. We'll start with Matthew.
Well, 371 pages. Just to let you guys know. For my grade, my rating, I will have to give it 3 stars out of 5.
Ooh, we're switching stars?
Or C+. I don't remember what we do here. I just C+.
You usually do letter grades, and I do the stars here.
Okay, I'll go to my letter grade. C+. Well, yeah, C+. The thing that brings it down for me a lot is the tacky stuff with the teenagers. Just stupid. Like I was bored. Like I said, I was bored with the teenage stuff the whole time. The whole nacho cheese and the cell phone was just like, okay, annoying. And the doctor scene and the ending with Laurie Strode just threw me off, and that's what brings it down to a C+. But the writing style, excellent from John Passarella.
Adam.
I don't know. I want to give it like a B minus, but I'm trying to think about I'm trying to be as fair as I possibly can be because, I think probably B minus for me.
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. We've read a lot worse on here.
Yes, that indeed we have.
We've read better, of course, but as far as modern novelizations go, this is the better one we've read.
Yeah.
This was better. It goes without saying it was better than The Predator.
Oh yeah,
but it's a lot better than King of the Monsters.
Yeah,
that book.
I'd say so. I can't remember what I gave that. This was more
Enjoyable,
more engaging. Yeah, it's like you want to stick to it and keep turning the pages. So
is that how you turn pages? By
like a Game Boy or a
Yeah.
PlayStation controller?
yeah. No.
So join us next week when we check out Spider-Man.
What he means is next week we start reading the next month's book, Spider-Man. Sorry,
I've already started. So.
What?
I'm on like halfway through chapter 2 now, so
It's all right. I'm like 2 pages into the prologue.
It's fine. I don't know why I said what because I'm on chapter 2.
Yeah. Also, we are planning to have a guest on this stream. We're going to have Mad Machad. He's actually been very excited about us doing Spider-Man. I think he actually recommended it at one point or said like, "Hey, please do Spider-Man." So we reached out to him, and so yeah, Chris from Mad Machad is going to be joining us next month for the Spider-Man stream.
Yep, it's going to be exciting. So that's going to do it for the Halloween novelization discussion with the hosts. So join us next month as we talk about Spider-Man 2002 by Peter David. So awesome.
Gucci.